Wow, I've got to start my talk by saying, I met Berlin just a couple of weeks ago, and she doesn't actually know this, but I have a golden retriever. So there we go. I guess I do look like my dog. And, a shout out to Chi's fantastic speech that really hit my heart as well. I've lost my creative mojo, I found it again, and I lost it again, then I found it again, and I'm on this constant creative seesaw. So that really resonated with me. And I would also love that bubble suit as well, so first dibs on that. Okay, so before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that we are gathered here today on the traditional lands of the Wurundjeri people, the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and we recognise their ongoing connection to the land, culture, and community. Okay, so design outlook. Have you ever felt like you're drowning in uncertainty about your career in design? Have you lost your creative mojo? Or are you feeling a little more creatively drained compared to how you used to be? That was me just a few years ago. Back then, I was uncertain about my career, if I was doing the right thing with my time and, well, with my life. But the good news is, I've learned some lessons that I'm standing here today to share with you. I will tell you some personal stories and 5 lessons about creativity, focus, and career that I learned the hard way. But before I keep on going, let me quickly introduce myself. So as Berlin mentioned, I'm the design lead at IBM Expert Labs, which is IBM's innovation and professional services organization. But I won't be talking about IBM or my work there today. This is going to be a personal story, designer to designer. And I'm not going to pretend to be perfect. I'm going to confess how I easily get distracted and lose sight of what really matters to me. And just a heads up, I call this constant distraction being monkey-brained. Though Berlin said I should probably call it golden retriever-brained, but I'll go with monkey-brained. And I'm going to be using this term a lot. I'll also tell you one thing that we're all probably doing at work that is seriously harming our creativity. But don't worry, it's not going to be all about the struggles. I'm also going to be revealing the secret to escaping this world of chaos by tapping into a concept that you've probably heard of before. It's called ikigai, and it's a Japanese word meaning your reason for being. And it has been a total game changer for me. It helps me know what to say a big yes to and what to decline with 0 regrets. So if you haven't used ikigai yet, get ready, as it could seriously change your creative life. Okay, so speaking of ikigai, let's jump into lesson 1. Activate your ikigai laser beam. I've had a bit of fun with the slides. Not as much fun as Chi, though. So if you haven't heard about ikigai before, let me give you a quick intro. It's a Japanese term, as I mentioned, that means your reason for being. And what do I mean by the laser beam? Well, I'll show you how you can use your ikigai to control your monkey brain and get laser focused on what truly matters to you. So your ikigai is made up of 4 elements. The first one is, what do you love doing? That's the first thing you need to consider. The second is, what are you good at? The third is, what can you get paid for? What can you get paid for? And the fourth is, what do you think the world needs? The intersection of all these 4 is your ikigai. It's your reason for being. However, most of us chase opportunities that really only fulfill maybe 2 or 3 of these categories. For example, you might be doing something that you love doing and that you're really good at. Now, ikigai calls this a passion. And a passion may feel really satisfying, but it's going to leave you a bit short on cash and wanting to make a bigger impact on the world. So think, doing a hobby like snowboarding or pottery. Or you may be doing something that you love, that you think the world needs, Now, Ikigai calls this a mission. So a mission may make you feel really good, but it's likely to leave you feeling really stressed about money and from having to learn new skills. So this could be working in a dog shelter when you have zero experience working with animals. The third is you could be doing something that you think the world needs and that you can get paid for, and Ikigai calls this a vocation. So according to Ikigai, a vocation is a job that helps the world and keeps you financially secure, but it may leave you feeling kind of empty as you're not meeting your true passions. So this could be working as a teacher when you have zero passion for working as a teacher. It's going to leave you feeling a bit drained. And finally, you could be doing something that you're good at and that you can get paid for. And this is a profession, a job that plays to your strengths, it pays the bills, but it's going to leave you feeling pretty emotionally wiped out and unfulfilled. Now, I can personally relate to this one, and I'm sure many of you can relate to a number of these combinations. So that's the concept of Ikigai. You need to ask yourself, what do you love doing? What are you good at? What can you get paid for? And what do you think the world needs? That's your Ikigai. It can help you identify your true calling with laser focus accuracy, allowing you to focus on what truly matters to you. Okay, let's move on to lesson 2. Beware the hidden cost of hiding. So what I want to share with you today is that your diverse background and interests are your superpower. They're what's going to set you apart from the person who you're sitting next to. However, I think you, like me, have engaged in what organizational psychologists call workplace covering. This is the practice of hiding, denying, or downplaying a certain aspect of yourself to better fit into a workplace culture or get that new job. In fact, a study by Deloitte found that 61% of us engage in some form of workplace covering behavior. 61%. Now, you may have hidden or downplayed your hobbies, your family life, maybe your sexual orientation, a religion, a disability, or maybe even a previous career. All in an effort just to fit in better at work or land that new job. So put your hand up if you can connect with this. Put your hand up if you've hidden a part of yourself to get a job, to fit in better at work. Yeah, so almost half. So look, while that's sadly not that surprising, what might surprise you is that studies have shown that workplace covering can lead to increased stress, decreased job satisfaction, and reduced engagement. So what you're doing to protect yourself can actually be seriously harming you and your creativity. Now, this lesson isn't telling you to stop hiding. I recognize that it's not always safe or smart to do so. Instead, it's a nudge to think twice, as hiding your true self can be seriously harming your creativity and your drive in really unexpected ways. And I know this all too well. As a gay guy, I've hidden my sexuality from past careers, from past employers, worried that they wouldn't accept it. And I've also downplayed my previous careers and hobbies, concerned that hiring managers simply wouldn't appreciate it. So here's a little fun personal story to make this make sense. But the first thing you need to know about me is that when I was much, much younger, I trained as a hula hooper. Yep. Anyway, a few years ago when I was working at Nike and I was still on my first week at work, I was walking through the campus yard and I was really excited to see, it was during Pride Week, there was a stage, there were drag queens and a DJ and heaps of my colleagues all enjoying the party. Now, it was still my first week at work, so I hadn't met many people yet, let alone come out as gay to them. But then, from the corner of my eye, I see on stage a drag queen. She's holding a hula hoop, looking for someone to come up on stage and give it a spin. And I thought, oh gosh, should I go up on stage and give it a spin? And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go up. So I went up on stage, hula hooped in front of hundreds of colleagues, and I frankly put on a really great show. And look, there's the proof. Look, this really small, fun act of unhiding opened up a world of opportunities for me. Off the back of this, I met some fantastic colleagues, and before I knew it, I was part of Nike's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee, and I collaborated on Pride events the following year. So that's lesson 2. Beware the hidden cost of hiding. Shake off the fear of not fitting into the typical designer mold, and instead embrace your uniqueness and let it be your superpower. Okay, moving on to lesson 3. Ditch the drab, find success by doing less. So if you don't focus your attention and pursuits on what truly matter to you and instead get distracted by less meaningful work, what I call the drab, then you'll be spreading yourself way too thin. Now, this can lead to burnout and lower impact. This is where I was a few years ago. I was caught in a whirlwind of my peak monkey brain. I found myself juggling side hustles, taking on extra training courses at work. I was busy, really busy. But I had mistakenly bought in to the idea that a busy life is a meaningful life. A busy life is a meaningful life. It's so clearly wrong now. But at the time, my monkey brain was winning. I was trying to do too much, and I was spreading myself way too thin, and I was exhausted. It was only when I started to focus on what truly excited to me, to ditch the drab, did my efforts really start to pay off. And this is where your ikigai comes in. Remember, your ikigai is your reason for being, it's your true calling, and it's going to help you find your laser focus. So the next time a new pursuit comes your way, run it through your ikigai. Ask yourself, is this something I love doing? Am I good at it? Can I get paid for it? Does the world need it? If it's a yes, whack it up, put it on your shortlist. If it doesn't hit all 4, it can still be worth doing, but it's going to require a little more consideration before you jump straight in. So that's lesson 3. Ditch the drab. Find success by doing less. Don't try to do it all. Okay, lesson 4. Don't quit your day job, tweak it. So it doesn't really need saying, but quitting your job because you sometimes find it a bit boring is a luxury few of us can afford, especially in this economic market. Plus, remember, your ikigai isn't just about chasing your passions. It also asks you to deeply consider what you can get paid for and also what the world needs. It asks you to consider all those 4 aspects. Now, there are times when quitting your job is the right thing to do. For example, if it's causing you significant stress, or if you simply have a better job offer, then go quit your job. I'm not here to tell you not to do that. This lesson is not for those situations, okay? This lesson is about those jobs that you sometimes are a little dissatisfied in or maybe a little bored in. So if you feel a little unsure about your job, don't put your hand up, your colleagues are probably sitting next to you. But don't quit your job until you have tried tweaking it. Recognize your job description is just the start of what you can do at work. When I was having my crisis a few years ago, I started to look for opportunities for how I could better connect with people. That's a key part of my ikigai. So I organized events like team socials and design meetups. Now, such seemingly small tweaks made such a big difference. And like everything in this world, there's actually a name for this job tweaking behavior. Organizational psychologists call it job crafting. And I reckon we've all probably done some job crafting like in our time already without even knowing it. However, research shows that by being more proactive and intentional with job crafting, this can significantly increase your work happiness and drive. So how do you do it? How do you job craft? Well, there are 3 categories to consider tweaking and crafting your job. Okay. So the first one is task crafting. Look for opportunities to add, remove, or tweak tasks to make them more engaging and meaningful. For example, maybe you love workshop facilitation. So lean into that, do some more workshop facilitation courses, and before you know it, you might become known as the workshopper in your office. Number 2 is relational crafting. So this asks us to think about how we can tweak our interactions with others at work. For example, you can look to collaborate more with certain teammates who really energize you, or maybe seek mentorship from them. And thirdly is cognitive crafting. This is about how you reframe how you see and speak about your job to yourself as well as to other people. So focus on the positive parts of your work and think about how it contributes to a broader purpose. So for example, instead of speaking about how your job is really bureaucratic, you could focus on how your work is actually saving people hours of time and frustration from actually making a user experience better. So lesson 4, instead of throwing in the towel because your job isn't perfect, newsflash, no jobs are, tweak your job to better align to your ikigai. Now, to make all these lessons work, I found you need one more key ingredient: curiosity, which is lesson 5. Stay curious, stay unstoppable. So curiosity is the secret sauce behind all the other lessons. Here's the thing. To fully embrace your ikigai, you've got to stay curious about what you love, what you're good at, what you can get paid for, and what you think the world needs. But you've also got to stay curious about yourself and your teammates. It's the key to creating a more open and inclusive workplace where everyone thrives and no one feels the need to hide. This is also called psychological safety. And you've got to let your curiosity lead you to discover new ways to tweak and craft your job to make them work for you. So curiosity is the key to the other lessons, but it also stands on its own. By being curious, you can expand on your knowledge that will put you in a better position to deal with change. And as you'll be hearing today, and to state the obvious, change is happening all around us. Technology is advancing at breakneck speed, impacting our jobs, our social life, our workplaces, and the world at large. Honestly, it's a little terrifying to me. So what I want you to remember is, now it's more critical than ever to be curious, stay adaptable, to stay unstoppable. So dive deep into your specializations and your job title by all means, but remember to be curious and broaden your knowledge outside of that. Really embrace your T-shape. Curiosity is the key to your creative drive, so keep it close. Okay, so today I've shared 5 lessons that I've learnt that help me wake up each day and be ready to tap into my creative drive. Let's recap. Lesson 1, activate your ikigai laser beam. Pew, pew. Lesson 2, beware the hidden cost of hiding. Try bringing your true self to work. Lesson 3, ditch the drab, find success by doing less. You'll have way more impact that way. Lesson 4, don't quit your day job before you try tweaking it. And lesson 5, stay curious, stay unstoppable. It's the secret sauce. And finally, as a little bonus lesson, I want you to remember to be kind to yourself. Discovering your creative drive is not a one-time event. It's a continuous journey. So get out there, consider these lessons, set up your creative foundations, be kind to yourself, and go and rediscover your creative drive. Thank you. Now, I thought I should practice what I preach, and I'm on stage. What do you think? Should I unhide on stage? And I think I saw a hula hoop. Is there a hula hoop? Oh. Oh.